Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us for this fourth in a five-part series of short webinars on the law of unfair dismissal, in particular redundancy. And in this session, we're going to look at the selection of employees. So you've identified your pool, who ultimately is going to be made redundant. My name is Gary Smith. I'm one of the partners in the employment team at Knockholds. And so, as I say, we've been through the start of the consultation process. We've decided that redundancies have to happen. You've now got the unpleasant task of deciding which of your employees in the pool has to sadly leave your employment. In scenarios where all of the employees in the pool are being made redundant, actually that becomes very simple, because if everyone in the pool is being made redundant, well, there is no need to create a selection criteria. There is no point. And you can simply move on to a final meeting to potentially dismiss the employees. We do often see scenarios where employees object to you not creating a scoring criteria. But as we say, who are you scoring against? What is the point? If everyone is going, there is absolutely no point in creating a scoring criteria or taking the time to do so. But if you are looking to retain some of the individuals in the pool, then you will need to find a way to differentiate between those who stay and those who go. And so you'll need to create and consult with the employees on a selection criteria. Now, those criteria should, where possible, be objective, but it is possible to have some subjective criteria. You wouldn't want to have all subjective criteria, but you can have some. The frequently used ones are often skills and qualifications for the roles that you wish to retain, disciplinary records or attendance records, but bearing in mind those who maybe have a disability or who have been off maybe on maternity leave, something like that, you may need to make some adjustments. Things like timekeeping or performance as set out in their appraisals could all be useful, but the two that probably are the most useful for employers to adapt and to adjust to make sure they get the type of person that they want are the top two: the skills and qualifications you need for people to do the job. It is important that you make sure that's right, so that you end up with the strongest team to go forward. Now, it's worth noting that the criteria can be weighted, so that, for example, skills and qualifications may get a double weighting, whereas disciplinary record may only get a single weighting. But you've got to be careful when doing weighting to make sure that one particular criteria isn't weighted to such a degree that all of the others become a complete irrelevance, because that risks making the redundancy a sham. Length of service is one that often comes up in questions. Now, since the age discrimination regulations came in, it has been a challenge to use length of service in the selection of people who are being made redundant. But there is lots of case law now that recommends that if you are to use the length of service criteria, it should be used as a tie break. So if all other criteria are equal and you simply cannot distinguish between two employees, ultimately you've got to base your decision on something. And in that scenario, where everything else is equal, it has been held that length of service as a final determining factor is acceptable, albeit it would not be acceptable to use it in the normal pack, if you like, of criteria. So in terms of the procedure then, so you do need to consult on the selection criteria with the pool. Importantly though, as we said in one of the previous webinars, consultation does not mean agreeing with the staff. It means hearing what they have to say, genuinely considering it, and then reaching a decision. Once you've decided on what the criteria are, you should score all the relevant staff in the pool. And then, having done so, you would meet with those who score least well and consult about their scores. I hope that's been of use to you and has been helpful. We've got one final session on this, and hopefully you will join us for that. Thank you very much.